fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint. NOAA.
Hey there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. Well, the public hearings on 2017 fluke regulations continue this week, with Connecticut being held on Tuesday night, Massachusetts on Wednesday, and then Rhode Island taking place Thursday night. The Connecticut meeting seemed in favor of option 5. Similarly, same thing took place over in New York earlier in the week as well. But unfortunately, this option has yet to be approved by NOAA, so we run the risk of it being taken off the table, and therefore the final recommendation would need to be made on the fly by the state rep. Another item of note that came from the meeting: the numbers of fish, fluke, being harvested by Connecticut anglers, well, really all states for that matter, of which the ASMFC is basing the necessary reduction in 2017 based off last year's presumed harvest overage, are quite obviously flawed. If you look at the numbers, it's a case of being required to use the best available data, but with the methodology for gathering the data being horrendously inaccurate, we, the fishermen, must unfortunately pay the price in the end. And until that changes, it looks like we're kind of on the hook. All right, well, moving on to a little better things, we're going to start off, as always, in Connecticut, where pike anglers have been doing really, really well lately on fish pushing to that high 30, almost hitting the 40-inch mark this week at a few of the local hardwater hotspots. Spots like Bantam and Mansfield have both been producing some really nice catches. Larger fish on average that I've been hearing are coming from Mansfield, but really both lakes have plenty of flags flying. However, unfortunately, I gotta remind everyone to be really, really careful when heading out onto the ice, especially right now after this little warm-up that we have midweek, as on Tuesday, a man was rescued after falling through the ice on Gardner Lake in Salem. So it just goes to show you that there's not widespread safe ice, and what may have been safe prior to this little warming, you just don't know where it stands right now, so just be really careful. Okay, moving on into Rhode Island. Prior to losing most of the last week or so to poor winter weather and winds, when those boats were able to get out, as I've been reporting to you, they've been doing pretty good with fish to the 20-pound class being caught. All accounts are large schools of bait still being found out there as well, and if we could just settle into a string of better weather, the catching would be quite good. And looking ahead, the early weather forecast for the weekend looks very promising and will hopefully hold steady. So you know what? Be sure to call your favorite head boat or charter boat and book your spot on the rail today. And then lastly, up in Massachusetts, the same old problem of too much ice but not enough ice plagues the eastern part of the state, as safe, fishable hard water is scarcer than a winter cod from shore. But finding open water in the same respect to wet a line in that area is proving to be difficult as well. Getting a couple reports here and there, some holdover schoolie bass, as well as some white perch in the smaller tidal rivers and salt ponds along the shore. Or better bet right now is to head out onto the Cape and try for some trout where open water is a little easier to find. And for some tips on this fishery, be sure to give a look to the January edition of the Fisherman magazine, as our regular contributor Jamie Golden provides some great information on targeting open water winter trout on the Cape. All right, well, there you have it. I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, wishing you tight lines if you head out onto the water this weekend.
The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint. NOAA.